Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. We are on the road to finishing the demo before April 1st. Yesterday we fixed up some stuff in our opening cinematic, but we've got plenty left to do still. We've got to add collision detection on the bed. We've got to add a treasure chest into this opening room. We've got to script some cinematics here before the controls fade up. And then when we're in this next room here, we have to script in Mage coming down and interrupting us before we walk out of here. And yo, Rev, what's up, homie? And then also, like, there's two options, right? If they try to go outside, which I might make this a brighter doorway, like I might make it look like it's daylight out here to kind of just to separate this from being like inside. This doorway is inside, but this is the exit. So hey, you're welcome, dude. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, we got some new emotes because we got gifted a bunch of subs. So luckily we've got a handful of new standard emote slots and animated emote slots. So hoping I can get some new animated ones out fairly soon. So today we're gonna be, and yesterday we worked on this mini map. So we're doing a little mini map here of the whole game area. So we've got little Tashio icon there, and if you hover over like whatever scene, it kind of tells you what it's called or whatever. We have some placeholder names right now for the stuff we haven't developed yet, and all of this is the placeholder art, right? But it's from our real map. So whenever we update this map, you know, there it is. So there's our map overlay, and then here's the Game Boyified version of the overworld map. So I'm hoping that we can, you know, once we make a couple more sprites, we can kind of like paint out more than just the blue bricks and the red bricks here for these other biomes. And we can mock, you know, 75% of this map is not going to be explorable on the demo. You know, it's mainly just going to be this area right here that is explorable for the demo. So this whole place will be corrupted, and the tome for the first dungeon here will give us the cleansing of this first corruption zone, or this first, it's not a biome, but it's just like the intro area level. So I'm thinking, you know, and even if you know, we can mock some stuff up. So like, since this gets so pixelated, we can just kind of draw out a vague representation of it outside of these red bricks and add little houses or little roads or little other stuff to kind of just flesh this out a bit more so that it doesn't look so crappy. But I'm really happy overall with how the minimap's looking. Now, you can't do anything with it. You know, you can't teleport using it, but it can just let you know where you're at, and it updates, you know, it even updates like what, you know, if we're in the top right here and we press it, our little Tashio icon is in the top right of the quadrant we're in. So anytime you pull it up, it'll tell you which road you're on, or like, oh, this is the dungeon entrance, or this is the Forgotten Forest, or whatever it is, wherever you're at, it'll pull up the name of whatever building you're at, just to help people navigate, you know, just to, you know, if they want to go back to the library and read the controls, they know they got to come back over here to Mage's Castle. So I'm really happy with how that turned out, and it's still crunch time, right? We've got to get down, you know, we're trying to finish by April 1st the demo, which we've got a shit ton of stuff still left, and I'm starting to feel the crunch. So we have to finish scripting our opening cinematic, and then we will hopefully be done with the cinematic. Then we can work on the intro level design and the dungeon level design, and then we've got a whole bunch of polish to kind of push through. So let's get started. we've got to go to our opening cinematic, and we have to start scripting before we give our player control over the character. We have to script a couple movements for Tashio. So he's going to be like tossing and turning in bed, and I think I want his eyes to be closed. So I know, Rev, it's creeping up so fast, but luckily we've got the controller support. I was really worried about the controller support. We fixed that. What's up, Leaf? How's it going? You know, I was worried about the controller support and the scripting of the cinematics and stuff. So like, we've got that out of the way. Now it's just dungeon level design and a couple new sprites and then just touch up. There's a lot of little touch up that I think is going to take a lot longer than I'm expecting. So I want to have at least 2 weeks for the little touch up stuff. So that means we have to finish our intro level sprites and dungeon level design in the next 2 weeks. And we, you know, we're still not done with the opening cinematic. So hopefully we can knock that out today, and then we can, you know, turbo through to the end of the demo, get it ready. So I'm just going to turn my webcam on auto because the light outside is kind of going crazy. And then, of course, auto makes it all overexposed. Whatever. Okay, we've got to go. We've got this opening cinematic. Now we're doing it based on steps instead of, like, steps being a number. So we have to find what last step we landed on. We trigger step 4 based on a player's, or actually a scene view's camera X. Okay, so we don't want to do this just yet. And we don't want to change back to a play state just yet. Oh, shoot. Okay, you know what? I think we do need 2 separate things, because the issue here is that in a cinematic state, we weren't updating the dialog box IDs for all the collidables. So it kind of makes sense to just script another cinematic as a separate state machine at this point. But before we do this, we do have to do the tossing and turning. So let's see what step 3 is. Step 3 is where Mage is walking off screen, and so is the player based on the Mage walk speed. And then we become step 4 at the end of a fade to black. Okay. So we do kind of need to add a new step 4. And this is like once the fade to black is fully opaque, fully black, then it's step 4. So we're going to ask if step is 4. We basically need to wait until the fade to black is done. So now we need to ask if our black opacity is smaller than or equal to 0, which means the fade from black has ended. And if so, we're going to say that the step is equal to 5. Then this condition would be on step 5. But we still need to push it down. And yeah, this isn't right still. Because we have to, now that we're on step 5, that's where the tossing and turning comes in. So let's just try to turn our character, and he should be in a cinematic state, which does not allow for character input to move him around. So what up, Salto? How's it going, homie? Yeah, we should be able to just kind of shift his animation. You know, we have this global player. We might need to change his direction so that we know which sprite to render, and we'll do a change direction, actually change animation to the index of, or to the string of idle left. So let's just see if he faces left in the bed here upon a step 5. So, you know, we might do this on step 4 and just have him toss and turn a bit, but we just need to check, make sure this is kind of advancing as expected. So one thing I will do, we change the player to idle left. Okay, and I don't think the direction's necessary, but we'll keep it. I just want to print up on the screen what step we're at so we can just make sure we're following along. So step 4 should be fade from black. Once we faded from black all the way, then we're on step 5, and that's when. So we shouldn't see Tashio turn left until the fade is done. So let's just see that that's the case. And I'm gonna put. I'm gonna print up the step here. What up, Merksu? How's it going, homie? Yeah, we've got this bet going on with Saltamanga where we're trying to get the demo done before April 1st. So we're scripting the cinematic here, plus the opening tutorial. So we also need to trigger the control text here. Okay, he does face left. That's good. So he faces left. We might want to make, I'm kind of thinking we make like a closed eyes Tashio, because he's going to be kind of, oh, look at this. We're changing the animation to only left because we're still in scripted. So this tells me that we're changing the character to a walk state instead of a cinematic state. So we've got to be doing that here somewhere. Yeah, we used to be changing our player to cinematic state so that it would just swap. Cinematic state is basically like WASD will not move the character, so that's why we had it, and that's why we need it here. Because we need to update the player because we're scripting them, but we need to not register the inputs, so we have this separate state machine for that. Now, step 5 is seemingly okay, but we need to kind of do, I think what I want to do is change him left as soon as we fade to black all the way. So right here, when we fade to black all the way, we're going to change to an idle state. Oh, well, this is actually wrong. Yeah, we want to change to the cinematic state here. So it looks like, yeah, right here. We need to change to cinematic state upon a fade to black. So once we're fully faded, when black opacity is 255, we're gonna, man, where did I do this? Right here. So we change our player's state to cinematic. We change him to be facing left. Then we need a little timer to get, we need him to flip like he's tossing and turning in bed. So we need to start advancing a little timer so that he's tossing and turning. So we can call it, it's kind of like, it's weird because we can either do it in a step. Let me think this through. We could do like a makeshift ternary operator, right? So that we basically get the opposite idle direction, depending on whatever time. So I guess we could do this turn timer in our step 5 here, because that's once we're faded from black. Then we're going to take our turn timer and start incrementing it by delta time. And we can do something like, we can't really do, let me think this, we can probably figure out a ternary operator here. Let's just say we increase our turn timer, and then we're going to say if our turn timer is greater than 1 second, if 1 second has elapsed, then heck? What did I just do? If our turn timer is greater than 1 second here, we're going to change not our direction, but our player's animation. So we should be able to do something like, how do we do this? We could change our direction. Let's change our direction here because we kind of need a value to be able to flop the ternary. So if we can say, and also to concatenate the animation title, so we need a dot direction to be changing. So if our turn time, if 1 second has elapsed on our turn timer, then we're gonna swap our direction, right? So we're gonna say that our player's direction is gonna get the opposite. So it's gonna be, we can do the ternary like this. We can say if the direction is equal to left and right or left, something like that, I think is like how you do the ternary. You ask the condition. If this condition is true, it'll equal the first value. If it evaluates as false, it'll equal the second value. So if direction is right, it becomes left. If it's left, it becomes right. I don't think you need an if, but then again, yeah, you might need an if. It's not liking player.direction. Yeah, it's not liking the double equals here. I know I've done this before. Something like this. If self turn timer greater than 1, then do this. Yeah, let me Google how to do this ternary in Lua real quick. So it is the and or, but condition and true or false. It doesn't like the double equals though. And that would be our condition. So, we might need to ask it what to evaluate on the other ones. No. Actually. No, it still doesn't like that. Okay, well, we can just not do a fancy ternary. I know I've done it before somehow. I don't know how exactly how to do it. So let's do this where we can say, before we swap our turn timer, we're gonna just ask if we're facing left. If we're facing left, we're gonna face right. Else left. Okay. So we have to do this. We change the animation, and then we also change the direction. We swap it, then we need to reset our turn timer to be back to 0 at the end of this so we can re-increment and count it. And we also need to define this up at the top. Okay, let's see if we toss and turn. I'm hoping it kind of alternates, right? And we can start triggering this on the fade in, because instead of just waiting for him to pull him off. Well, let's see. We should toss and turn. Nice. Okay, so we've got him. Yeah, we've got him facing left and right. I think we need, I don't know, I kind of want his eyes closed. So I don't know if that means we cut off 1 pixel on the bottom of his eyes so it looks like his eyes are closed. Because after he tosses and turns a little bit, he's going to face forward, open his eyes, and that's when the text on screen here for the controls are going to come in. So let's see what he looks like when we cut off 1 pixel off the bottom of his eyes here. So it's only on these ones, right? It's only on idle, the tall idle. Because this is like the first time we see him kind of awake. I don't know. I don't really like... Well, because also he'll need to face forward before he opens his eyes. The single pixel eyeballs look so weird. We do kind of have... Okay, yeah, we can do a kind of blink with... yeah, let's do this. So we'll do single dots for the sides, and then wide eye slits for here, and then tall eye slits when he's open. So if this is like... we can export this as a new player atlas and call it like sleep, Tashio sleep or something. We want to save it as a PNG. Why does it not show anything in here? We're in our graphics folder. Why is it doing this? We're not even in our repo. Here we go. So we have a player atlas. We can call it player atlas sleep, player sleep atlas. Okay, we're gonna try to change his atlas to this one, so we can see what it looks like, and we're gonna do that here. We have to create quads and a drawable for it. So wherever we do our player atlas is a character walk, we should have character walk. Yeah, let's do this. It should be called Tashio, right? But whatever. Let's do character sleep. And we pull from the atlas of player sleep atlas, because we just exported that. And then we need to add it as a quad, which we'll pull it right here. And we basically just say character sleep is a quad that takes the character sleep drawable and it slices it up into quads based on a width and height of a tile size, which is 16 by 16 in our case. And then we have to go to our entity definitions and kind of define which frames there are. Entity defs. Okay, so here for our character walk, you know, we've got these different animations, and actually we can actually not even change it from our idle. We don't have to pull a whole new table because we only need the 3, right? We need sleep left, sleep right, and then sleep forward. So, man, the webcam is killing me. let's try to just add not a whole new table, but we'll add it to our player idle. So we should have, well, it's an animation. Okay, we might be okay adding this here. So after idle down, let's say that we have a character sleep. Now this is based on the quad that we chopped up. Actually, let's do, this is actually the key at which we need to change it. Let's call it character sleep. I mean, yeah, that's okay. Shit. Okay, so what this has is, yeah, okay, I think we just need to define which exact frame it is. So like we can say sleep forward is this frame 1. So we can say only frame 1. It is not looping. And it is from our character sleep quad. Okay. Let's try this sleep forward. So we'll go to our opening cinematic, and we, instead of player idle or idle left, let's just try to do sleep forward. Looks like we missed a comma in our entity defs. Yeah. Player Sleep Atlas PNG does not exist in graphics. Did we not export it? Player Atlas. I don't see it. I don't know where we exported it, but it's not in here. So let's do this again. Player Sleep Atlas. Why does it keep saving there, dude? I swear we manually navigated to it. Here, graphics. Player Sleep Atlas as a PNG right here in our Tashio graphics folder. We'll export it, and then we'll try to load again. Shoot. You're telling me Player Sleep Atlas does not exist, even though we just exported it there. I don't see it. What the fuck? We've tried it twice now. Let's do a save as. Graphics. Player Atlas. Player Sleep Atlas. Let's double check that it's in there before we run it again. I don't see it. What the what is going on? Why can't we export anything? Try to go to the desktop. Oh, Player Sleep Atlas is there in graphics. Why did it? Can we just copy and paste this in the repo? I don't get why it's giving me so many issues here. Okay, player sleep atlas. We're gonna go into the graphics, paste it here. It says it's in there. I don't see it. Player sleep atlas. Okay, down here, player sleep atlas. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Okay, we'll see if step 5 here has our new sleep forward animation, which is Tashio's eyes. Oh, there we go. It does change it to sleep forward. So we've got the sleep forward. Now we just need the sides. My camera is on the fritz today. It's because it's so cloudy or not cloudy outside. So that's why it's all over the place. Okay, so we've got sleep forward. Let's do sleep left and sleep right. Which we have to find the right frames for. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is sleep left. 6, 7, 8 is right. So 5 is left, 8 is right. Okay. Not looping, sleep left, sleep right. Okay. So let's try this again in the opening cinematic where we say, let's just have the sleep instead be the direction that we're facing. So when we swap to right, we sleep right. When we swap to left, we sleep left. And we do need to change our direction. Okay, we are doing that. Okay, so now we should let's start the cinematic here at the fade in, so we don't have to wait as long. Does that mean we step right here? We've got this toggle for us. Okay, so we should start the cinematic at the fade to black. Cool. So he's facing left, right, left, right. Okay, I don't know. The 1 pixel eyeball still looks a little weird to me, probably because I'm so used to seeing him. But also, right when we change to a step 4, we need to change to the sleep so he doesn't close his eyes. So, right when we do a black opacity to 255 here, which is right here, we need to change our animation to not idle left, but sleep left. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so yes, he's got his closed eyes. I don't know, I feel like part of me wants to have him tossing and turning as we fade into fade from black, because it's kind of apparent he waits to start turning. We could start our sleep timer at a higher number, and that would make him turn faster from the first turn. I might like the look of that better. Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna do maybe 4 of those. And then he's going to face forward, then he's going to open his eyes, and then we change to a play state which allows the player to walk around. So let's try that. We're going to go here in step 5, and we're going to say we also increment our turn count here. Really do wish there was a plus in Lua. That would make me like it even more. So we advance our turn count, And then we're just going to say, at the end of this turn timer, we're just going to say, if our turn count is more than 4, if we've tossed and turned 4 times, then we're going to advance our step. And we're going to change the player we're going to change the animation of our player to be sleep forward. And we need to then change the game state. It's actually in the state machine. We need to change to play state. Man, I hated that I did like camel case and then I went to hyphens. I need to standardize that. So we're going to face forward and then allow... Actually, this isn't quite right. We don't change to play state just yet. We're going to... Let me think. Because I want him to face forward for like a split second and then open his eyes. So we kind of need... Yeah, because we want to change to sleep forward. But then we need to cease... We need to cease turning him. So we're turning him based on this turn timer. I'm gonna do some nasty stuff I don't recommend, but just gonna give him like a negative number on this turn timer because we don't want to increment it. Oh my god, where are we? Yeah, we're gonna give him a negative number on the turn timer so that when it increments, it doesn't trigger a direction change because we're about to advance to step 6. So I think, you know, if our turn count is greater than 4, then we can start to worry about, we can say, well, now our sleep timer, you know, we just need to count a little bit of time. And we need to scale this by delta time. Okay, so if we've slept, or you know, if we've slept forward bigger than, let's just do 0.8 seconds, then we're gonna sleep, or then we're gonna idle forward, which should be eyes open. Yeah, this should be sleep down, not sleep forward. Just for consistency's sake. And we'll do that in our defs too. Okay, so if we toss and turn 4 times, we're going to be eyes closed but facing downwards. We're going to increment our sleep timer, which we need to initialize to 0. If our timer is greater than 0.8 seconds, then we're going to change to idle down, so we should open our eyes, and then we need to increment our step, and then we will change our state machine to give player control, and then we have to also control the rendering for the dialogue on the screen here. Oh, we do that here. Okay, so we advance our step. Let's initialize our sleep timer. And then, yeah, we need to dispatch a turn on tutorial text at this point in the story. So we need to say, yeah, we need to say at this point we're going to event dispatch. I would like it to fade on instead of radically appear on, but this is something that bugs me because of the render order layer. Yeah, this is, let's just see if the sleep directions are working, then I'll explain the issue we're at. Okay, face left, oopsie, turn count nil value. We've got a turn count. It's initialized to 0. Not on the player, it is on the scene or the cinematic. Self turn count. Okay, left, right, forward, and then open. Perfect. Yeah. So the tricky thing is here, well, we're not changing to the play state just yet. We need to do the state machine change to be a play state. That should give us control to move the player. Then I can kind of explain what's going on. Okay. Left, right. Down, open eyes. Ooh, he didn't work that time because we didn't change our direction. So we'll do that. So this is the tricky part here is we're rendering this text under our player but above the ground, right? So it's like a sandwich of render order layer. And that means that our tutorial text can't exist in the opening cinematic state. It actually has to exist in the scene because the player exists in the scene and it needs to render under the player but above the ground. So we kind of had to put this this string defined in the scene when I really didn't want to do that because we only use it at the very beginning and that's it. So I wanted it to kind of be only part of the opening cinematic scene, but I couldn't figure out how to do it yesterday other than doing this. So let's just make sure that we're changing our direction here to down. So that we don't accidentally face left. By the time we wake, we want to see him opening his eyes. So here we go. Perfect. And then we get control. So let's try to do, okay. We're rendering this. We have this step 6. Yeah, this needs to be what? Step. We advance our step. If our camera's X, we're going to turn off this. Okay, we need to also set this to step 7. This is so jacked up. Okay. Oh, and you know what? Yeah, instead of incrementing the step, we've been actually assigning the step. Yeah, so this, since this is step 5, we're just gonna say that this assignment goes to 6. Okay, then if we're 6, then we're checking for this. We're checking for a left or a right scene transition to toggle off the tutorial text here in the event dispatch. So I'm looking to create a turn on tutorial text event dispatch that that handles the highlight or the opacity for the text here. So let's see, hold on, I got a text real quick. Okay, I do like that this event dispatch doesn't clog up the scene code, but let's see where we define it. Turn off tutorial text. Okay, we have an event on, and this is just in our opening cinematic. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't like this. Okay, our event on literally just toggles a boolean from our scene, which is fine. It's just that when I think about toggling it on, we need to control a value and update that value over time, which is fine. But let's do this. So we're gonna say we're gonna define an event dispatch called turn on tutorial text, and what that's gonna do is go, hey, what's up, Squinch? How's it going? We're gonna say that the tutorial text will become true here, but we also need to set a thing called like tutorial text alpha to also be 0. Man, I don't like this. I don't like this at all, actually. Because what I'm thinking of is like we just make sure in the scene we update this tutorial text alpha, but we only need it here. So maybe we do this. We set the alpha to be a value here from our init. So we'll call it tutorial text alpha within our scene. We'll just make sure we define these after the init. And then okay, if we're setting the alpha, what we can do is like, well, fuck. In order to update this over time, but not always update this in the scene, right? This is a field in the scene view. So in our scene class, it's a field called tutorial text alpha. I'm trying to avoid updating that value in the scene update because we only need this for this very first part of the game, and then we never need it again. So I'm thinking to hide the logic in this event trigger in the opening cinematic so that it doesn't update in the scene, because we never need it outside of this opening cinematic. We do need to initialize it to like 0 in the scene itself, but then we need this we basically need this thing where we say that we're going to update this by, I don't know how this works, because this doesn't take in delta time. This function does not take in delta time unless we say it does, right? Can we pass in delta time to this function and have it not yell at us? Yeah. Okay. So if we pass in delta time, let's say when we run this event on trigger, we'd have to dispatch this You know what? Yeah. I think we want to maybe split it up. So like we would have this like fade in tutorial text. And we will pull the alpha from this tutorial text alpha, which is 0. We need to give our scene this tutorial text alpha. Let's do that before you forget. Okay, so when we call this event trigger, it's going to update the tutorial text alpha to be equal to the current text alpha plus delta time, so that it will fade, you know, it'll get more opaque over time as long as we event dispatch this fade in tutorial text over time. So let's try to do this. But we also need to clamp it. We don't want it to be any higher than 255. So we'll give one value is this updated value, and then the other is a 255, so it clamps out there. We need to make sure we give the alpha to the scene view render. So we'll go when we render the dialogue, which I really hate that it's in here. I like really hate that it's in here. We need to set the color here. We'll do a love.graphics set color, and it'll be pure white, but at the right alpha. So 111 is pure white, and then we'll go at our own tutorial text alpha over 255. Okay, and then let's just make sure we reset the color to white after this, just in case we just don't want to accidentally make stuff transparent. So are setting our color to this tutorial text alpha, and the tutorial text alpha is getting updated in the opening cinematic once we run our event trigger fade in tutorial text. I'll do this lowercase camel case like we have for the other ones. Now we need an event dispatch here like we do here. We have this, we need to dispatch this once we open our eyes. So once we go to idle down and we change to a play state. See, we can't do this just yet. Okay, yeah, we can't change to a play state just yet because that will cease the event dispatch. So we have to fade in our text before this. So let's do this, where we'll say, you know, if we open our eyes after our sleep timer, then we're going to dispatch the fade in tutorial text. Fade in tutorial text. And then let's just see if that works. Let's just see if we fade in that tutorial text. It would take a long time because we're updating by delta time, but let's see. When he opens his eyes, let's see if the text fades in. Shit. Cinematic self on cinematic 71. Yeah, tutorial self tutorial text alpha. It doesn't have access to delta time, or it said self. Index global self on no value. We might need to Well, it looks like we need to pass in delta time, which we aren't, and we also need to pass in the tutorial text alpha. So let's try this on the event dispatch. Yeah, this isn't how it works. Okay, this is not... We have a tutorial text alpha defined here. It just doesn't like referencing the self in event trigger. I was hoping this would work. I don't know if we can pass in. Are we not allowed to pass in any other variables here? Let's see. When we do a dispatch, are we allowed to give in optional parameters here? Let's try it. We're going to pass those two parameters, and then we're going to say, I don't think it works like that, but who knows? If we give in the tutorial text alpha here as a parameter, it doesn't look like it likes that. Tutorial text, yeah, it doesn't look like it likes that. Self tutorial text alpha, tutorial text alpha, tutorial. Yeah, it doesn't seem to like this at all. Do we have to... If we pass it as a text string, it doesn't like this. Yeah, this is not right. Well, it didn't crash, but we're not advancing the tutorial text because we're resetting it here. We need to reset the alpha to the plus delta time here, and then we can just render the tutorial text alpha. I don't know. It didn't crash, so that makes me think that the parameters are being passed in. We're just not seeing our text fade onto screen here. Okay, we could pull from our state machine the field of tutorial text alpha, and maybe that makes a difference. Let's try that. I don't know. See, we're modifying the parameter by delta time, which isn't right. Yeah, that isn't right. Okay, so we're gonna dig down into the actual state machine's tutorial text alpha field, and we're gonna update it. Yeah, I don't think we need this passed in because we're digging down when we dispatch into the state machine, and then we're gonna say, now let's overwrite the scene view's text alpha with the global state machine's tutorial alpha, and then we can remove the dispatch with the secondary parameter here. So either delta time is being passed in, or it's not actually updating. I can't test that until we see some text on screen here. shit. So either delta time is not being passed in. Like if we pass in 50, can we pass it in the dispatch in the event on? So we're passing in 50 and we're saying, yeah, you know what? Let's just take the number that we gave it and we're going to just set the text alpha to be this number that we pass in. I'm just going to see if this is possible. I just want to see the text at this point. So when we change the text, we need to change the text tutorial alpha, and we're just going to assign it to be whatever this current text alpha is, which we assign to be a number, and that number is passed in as a parameter from the event dispatch. We're going to say, yeah, see, I just don't know how to pass in parameters to the dispatch. I've never done it before. If we don't see a semi-transparent one here, yeah, then we're not passing it in correctly. We're not passing in the parameter to the dispatch. So I might need to pull up documentation on the state machine or on the dispatch. It's in a knife Lua library for dispatch events. It says it receives any number of optional parameters matching arguments passed when the event is dispatched. So yeah, they are able to pass in delta time to the event on. And they're able to pass in, yeah, this should be possible because they're passing it in, you know, as a secondary parameter. What event to dispatch, and then the optional parameters. Huh. Okay, so let's just test something real quick then. Let's just test if the event dispatch only ever does let's see. Let's just say that the dispatch for fade in tutorial text is just gonna set the scene views tutorial text alpha to be equal to 255. And we're just gonna say we do a fade in tutorial text. So when we dispatch, we fade in, oh my gosh, did this have 2 T's the whole time? Fade in tutorial text. If that had 2 T's the whole time, I'll be a little embarrassed. We're looking for text on screen when he opens his eyes. Okay, perfect. So did we really do that? Let's try to do what we did before with passing in. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna pass in delta time as well as the tutorial alpha. No, we didn't have that. Okay, so let's only pass in delta time. And for right now, we're gonna go to the event on, and we're gonna say, really, this? We pass in delta time. We're gonna assign our tutorial text alpha to be growing over time with delta time. And then we're also, come on, dude. We're gonna say that the text alpha for our text here is whatever our tutorial text alpha is, which is growing over time. So let's just look at our dispatch, make sure it looks like we are not advancing the step. Oh, we are advancing the step. We can't advance the step until we're done fading in. So that we dispatch more than once. Dude, and then what the We have this wrong. We have to make sure we pass in delta time. Let's try this. Fade in tutorial text. We're not advancing the step. It should fade in over time. What happened down here? Why are you crashing down here? What the hell happened here? How did I accidentally delete the I over there? Whatever. Okay, we're looking for a fade. A fade, fade, fade. No. Shit. Okay. Shit, man. I'm hoping... I thought... Every time I'm like, we can get all of this done today and then get nothing done. Tutorial text alpha. We're going to change it to be this current tutorial text alpha. So let's just print up what this value is. Now, if we try to do this based on the self, which is the cinematic, it'll yell at us, right? So if we try to do this, it'll yell at us. Yeah. I don't like doing that. Now, are we changing the state? We are not changing the state. Okay. Okay. Let's print up this tutorial text alpha and see what's happening. Because we should be able to say, let's do this again. Self.tutorial text alpha. We're going to call it G state machine current tutorial text alpha. I missed a global pass there. That's okay. Okay, G state machine current text alpha. Let's print up this tutorial text alpha and see what's happening. I'm assuming it just stays at 0 and doesn't do crap. What the hell happened to my camera? It is growing over time. Oh my god, the delta time is so slow we might not be able to see the text. Oh my god, it is there. It's coming on. Oh my god, we might have been okay this whole time. The delta time was just so slow. Shit. This might have been okay for a while now. Okay, well, this is good. This is fading on like we want it to, right? A little slow. All of us are a little slow sometimes. It's kind of peaceful, actually. Now we can't move just yet. Okay, this is okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let's fix that. Yeah, I gotta take it easy there. It is fast, but I'm hoping people will, you know, people operate so fast these days, you know, like their attention span's so fast, so we gotta speed things up a bit. Yeah, we need to scale delta time by like at least 60. I wonder if that was working when we just couldn't see it. Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, it should be faster than that, but that's getting there. We are not clamping the alpha, that's for sure. Yeah, we need to reclamp this. We're clamping it to the scene, but we're not clamping it here. We need to do a math dot minimum value of 255 or the updated text alpha, and we will speed it up maybe by another factor of 2. So let's see, it should fade maybe in 1 second or so. So he tosses and turns, opens his eyes, perfect. And then once this tutorial text alpha is faded on, then we can change the state to move our character. Okay. Yeah, okay. We're doing good. Yeah, let's go to step whatever. We need to advance the step based on the tutorial text opacity now for the opening cinematic. And when we advance it, where are we doing it? Right here. So in self.step 6, we're going to ask here, you know, we're dispatching this over time, but we don't want to keep dispatching it once it's faded. So we're going to ask if our tutorial text alpha is greater than or equal to, should be clamped, it shouldn't be equal, so it should be just equal to 255. Then we want to increment our step to 7 here. And then if we're in step 7, and since step 7 is actually our last, we should be able to just do a global state machine change into change state into play state, and then we should have control. Now we have this dispatch on a step at some point. Oh crap. You know what? We can't do it here yet because we have to do the dispatch to fade out the tutorial text, and I'm not even seeing where that is. Did we accidentally delete it? Oh, we have this. Okay, we do need to advance our step here. This is step 6, even though this is turn off. Okay, this needs to go here in this dispatch. Okay, so once we're done sleeping, we change to our open eyes, we fade in our tutorial text. If our tutorial text alpha is fully faded in, then we're gonna not change to a play state just yet, but we're gonna advance our step to 7, which will then listen for, oh shoot, man. This is okay. We have to change our player. If we change our player at this point, state to a player idle, then we can walk around. We need to change the play state. We need to change to the play state in order for us to interact with dialogue objects, which are in the next room. So we're gonna change to step 7. And then we change our player to be walkable. We don't change to a play state just yet. but we change to a play state once we walk in another room, essentially, which is when our camera X becomes off screen. We're going to change our state to play state. Let's see if that works. We got to get rid of it here. So we're looking for our player able to walk after the fade in. It should look, or let's see. So he tosses and turns. He goes, ba-ba, faces down, opens up, text fades on. We have walkability. Now let's see if dialogue works in the next room. Shit. Change state and nil value. Change state. Global state machine. Change state. What are you talking about? It's just change. Okay, so I'm gonna test. I'm gonna hold inputs while he's tossing and turning. Okay, we don't seem to have movement until text is faded. Okay, perfect. Okay, now do we crash here? No? Can we talk? Oh, thank God. Okay. Yo, okay, we did it. We did it here for the first room. Okay. Okay, sweet. So we've got the library, we've got the text, the tutorial text fading on. Now we need to script Mage coming on. Oh, it's so much work. Okay. This is okay. This is okay. Okay, so the idea here, is the character can interact with these things if they choose to, or if they realize they can, by hitting spacebar on them, and it'll teach them the controls and stuff. Now, we need to dispatch. Okay, so I think what happens is, whether or not they try to go here, if they try to go out here, I think if they go out here, like right here, then the game will pause them, and there might be like a little exclamation point or something, and then their movement will pause. Mage will come down the steps up there, and he'll say, or like we'll script the walking to for them to meet each other or something, so that they go and walk to each other, and meet each other. If they try to go up here, the same thing will happen, where it'll force you to walk down and turn around, and then Mage will talk. So I think what happens is, if you try to go out here, he'll stop, Mage will come down, and then Tasha will come over here and walk to him. At which point a dialogue box will pop up, and we'll get through Mage's dialogue there, and he says, you're finally up. Are you feeling okay? You don't remember anything? Just be sure to take it easy, and I'll come find you when you're ready, or something like that. And then it'll script us to walk out and trigger the warp zone to the outside world, which will be the overworld, which will be part of Mage's castle here, which is like right here. So Mage's castle will be right there. Okay. Shoot. Okay. This part, I think we do need to split up the cinematics. I don't want too much scripted code messing with one another, so, but we also need, we need a way to trigger, oh my gosh, we need a way to only trigger this cinematic the first time you play, right? Which in our game's case, we can have this boolean called new game started or something. And if new game is just started, we would trigger the opening cinematic, which gets you through the tutorial text and into the library and mage's office. But then we need some sort of ability to be like, yo, we've already heard the cinematic in this scene, so don't script it again, or don't play it again. So I guess I'm not too worried about that just yet. It should be easy to toggle off. It's just that since we changed to a play state, I don't know how to do this. Because we changed to a play state, which means this will be in our overworld logic. So it's like we might need, I don't know, we might need a reference of all the cinematics for every scene, as well as if it's been played, if it's been triggered or not. And if you do the thing that would trigger a scene and it has not been triggered yet, it'll go ahead and trigger it and change the state to the current cinematic. Or if you do the thing that will trigger the state and you have already triggered it, it'll ignore it and just keep you in the play state. So we might need a cinematics table to kind of keep track of what cinematic state needs to be activated from this scene and if it has been activated or not. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back. So, Squinge, could you give me a rundown on what you mean by the coroutines there? Or link me to your code that does it or something? Because I'm not so sure what that is. Okay. I know coroutines are like I know the term, but I don't know what it actually means. We do need to add the collision detection for the bed. So let's maybe do that. And I'm kind of thinking we either put Flama in the treasure chest beneath the bed, at the foot of the bed, or we put the loot in the bed, in the treasure chest beneath the bed. Yeah, maybe we put the loot back there. Because I don't like the idea of the loot kind of being stuck in a dungeon somewhere. I think it should be kind of kept for you. Okay, so coroutines run a set of functions sequentially. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So is coroutine a library within Lua, or is that a library you got to import? So there's a coroutine that changes and wait until the player reaches the target position. It is built into Lua. Okay. Does that, I mean, I guess, does it still mean, because it's like we would still have to have some sort of logic to determine whether or not to run the coroutine, like if we've triggered the cinematic already, right? So like but you're saying to use the coroutines for the scripted movements of the characters, and then I don't know. But we would still need a way to kind of keep track of which cinematic has been played already or not. Let's add a treasure chest. Oh, and you know what? Oh, I think we broke all of our treasure chest logic when we changed our dialogue boxes. Shit. Fuck. Oh, man. Let's try it. Let's see how bad it is. Because, yeah, we still need collision detection in that room and the loot in the treasure chest and the scripted stuff in the next scene, but we might as well kind of just finish the first scene before we move on. So where is our treasure chest even at? What the fuck? I don't see it anywhere. What the hell? Oh, our treasure chest has got to be something separate than the Atlas, huh? Okay. Yeah, we have chest closed and chest opened. Okay. Well, then it's part of an object and it's not part of the tile map. I guess that's okay. Let's see when we do a treasure chest here. Yeah, okay. We insert it as a collidable map object into the scene here, so... Okay, so we have to go to the scene we're at, which is 1019. Let's see. Okay. Opening cinematic. 1018 is castle. Okay. So 1018, we're gonna put our treasure chest. Why not? When you run a coroutine, it has a built-in bool method. You can check if the coroutine's dead. That could be your check if the scene's already been played. How does that work? I mean, I guess that would mean if we save the game, we would need to copy that bool or copy that coroutine bool method or status. Would that be possible too for saving the game to say like, hey, this, cycle through all the coroutines in the scenes, save all the ones that are, save the state of all the ones. Let's see here. Let's say we wanted it 3-2. It's not a coin. Here, I'll have to copy all of that stuff you're saying so I can look into it more. Let's just see how busted our dialogue, our treasure chest is these days. We'll try to put this here at like 2.5. But also, since this is... God, this is jacked up. Okay, so there's our little treasure chest. Now, if we interact with it, nothing happens. It's because we aren't updating. Son of a bitch. Okay, let me try to put it on the next page and just see. Because we're going to have to check for collision on collidable dialogue boxes here in the first scene, so we might... Well, now we should be checking, so let's check it. Oh, we've got the coin. Oh, my son of a... Okay. I don't remember what we changed to break this, but I do remember that we broke it. Son of a bitch. I don't even know where to start with this. It opened fine, the dialog box didn't though. Like if we don't give it a dialog box, what happens? Thank you. Yeah, that is very helpful. Thank you. I will check that out. We're trying to index a field of dialog box which is a nil value, so Treasure chest needs a dialog box to update, so we just need to change our treasure chest class to reference our new. I mean, we changed dialog box a bit. I don't remember what we did though. Oh my god. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. So there's an open chest method which shows off the item and shows which changes our player to show off. Puts the contents to be right above our head. This is very easy. What the heck? Where is it looking for a dialog box then? Oh, it's looking for it right here. So what if we give it a nil here? We've got to walk off screen and go back on because that's the only way we can open things at the moment. Okay. Fuck. We crashed in the dialog box. Why do we crash in the dialog box? 'Cause enter being pressed doesn't do anything. We've got to be doing a treasure chest option update logic for our dialog box. Yes. Okay. Okay. So in our play state here, we are doing this. This is bad, man. This is very bad. Oh, man. I don't even know what we were doing and how we broke this. Okay. So if the A button is pressed and you're at the end of the page, we turn off this treasure chest option. We become show off item false. If we hit B, we also treasure chest option false. What are we doing with this treasure chest option? It's like global, right? Where is this treasure chest option even defined? What the heck? Is this global? Where do we freaking define this? This is so weird. What, we define it here in the play state? It is global. This is so gross. We need a better way to do this. The idea is we need to trigger a dialog box object to update if it's a treasure chest and we open the chest. So how we're currently doing it is we collide with the dialog box. Therefore, we copy the dialog box ID into the dialog box. We changed this recently. This is why it's screwed up, because it was based off this dialog box collided table. But we changed how that worked, and instead we pull the dialog box ID instead of populate a new table. of the collided thing. So I think that's what broke it. Oh my god, it's just like so overwhelming to look at. Like, why is it a freaking global value? All we want to do is trigger a dialog box update on the thing that we've got. I guess we do require an actual index for the dialog box ID. So I think we should just give up on this treasure chest option idea and instead just update the dialog box ID for the given, we'd have to say that there's a dialog box in the same scene and it's an index of whatever, and once we, in our treasure chest, once we open it, we then need to update the dialog box ID of the corresponding text. So let's see how we're triggering if we do dialog box collides. How are we doing? Wow, we need to get rid of all this old shit. What? We're not even doing the dialog box collides anymore? So how are we doing it? Active dialog ID. Okay. Okay, so if the button's pressed, if action button's pressed and we're dialog colliding with a dialog box, so the issue here, this should be easy. This should be easy because all we need to do is do this, which is set an active dialog ID via whatever treasure chest dialog ID it is, and then then we pass in the active dialog ID to the scene and we become paused. So that should kick us into updating the dialog ID. So we should be able to do this if we open a chest. So let's try to add that to a chest open. Yeah, so we're gonna go into the map, into the dialog box index at, it's not K, it needs to be, we need to give it a dialog ID here. Okay, so we get a dialog ID. Then we go into the dialog box table at that ID and we flush the text. We become activated. Shit, man. And then this self is actually from the play state. So we need to go to the play state, which will be the G state machine. We have to make sure this G state machine current. Okay, this V is what? This V is the actual dialog box. Shoot, man. This is really tough. We're not cycling through. We're gonna be. We need to either pass the dialog box itself into here. No, this is okay. This is okay. Because what all this V means is that this is the map. Oh god. Nope. Okay, so we pull the period. We're going to replace it with map, scene view, current map, row, okay, the self, oh man, we screwed this up. At index, oh my god, this is the wrong one altogether. Okay. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay. We set the global state machine's current active dialog ID to be equal to the dialog box table at index dialog ID. That should be self.dialog ID. Okay, and then this is dialog box at index self dialog ID. Okay, and that's okay, then we become paused. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to take out the reference to the dialogue from our treasure chest. Yo, I should have committed before I went to this, because this is nasty. I should have committed before we did this. Okay, treasure chest should not have a dialog box reference. It should just have the dialog box ID. Okay. What the hell? What? We do pass in a dialog ID. Okay. We might not even need it here because we pass it in as a parameter to the open chest, which is the only time we really need it. So we might get away with not even needing it in the init. Or we can pull the dialog ID from the init. I guess it's whatever, up to us. I think it's easier to define it here. So we're going to say there's no dialog box in oh my god, this is so messy. Okay, so we add a treasure chest to the collidable map objects. Then we also need to add a dialog box. We'll insert into the dialog box table a text string of, it's actually Yeah, it's more complicated than that. It's... We insert a dialog box, instantiation, okay, so we're going to close the dialog box, we're going to close that. Okay. So we actually do need to pass in the dialog ID so that when we run open chest, shit, man. We do need a dialog ID here in the treasure chest. We do. Because we need to pass it here. Fuck. Okay, let's say we end the string here. The next thing that needs to be passed in is an index, which is gonna be 1 to our dialog box. Is that right? No. After the text, it's asking for if it's attached to an NPC, and then its index. So let's say the only dialog box that's in here is pointing to index 1, and index 1 is what our treasure chest needs to have access to as the 4th parameter, and that is what's going to be passed in as the dialog ID here. So we have a contents. We also need this dialog box ID, and we're going to snag that right here. Dialog box ID. Our open chest does not take in that as a parameter, but it is just going to use our dialog box ID. So dialog ID gets replaced with box ID. Okay. So when we run open chest, we do the show off. We put the image of whatever it is there. We then do our things to reset the dialog box. So we make it activated, we flush the text. We then go to the current state machine's active dialog ID and pull from... This is a little weird. This is how we're doing it. Okay, let's just see. We're giving the treasure chest this index, and that is the only dialog box that's in here, and it should say it's a coin 503. We're missing parentheses here. Okay, let's see. We can't open it till it starts updating. That's an issue we've still got to fix, but we walk off, we go to the play state, then son of a bitch. Dialog box is a nil value on 354 play state. See this dialog box ID. Yeah, we're doing this based on... Yeah, we shouldn't... Oh my god. This is the flush text. We don't really need this. And we're not really doing this treasure chest option or this paused stuff. We're not really doing this anymore. We might need to pull... No, we're assigning... Yeah, we're assigning our dialogue ID anyway to our state machine too. So we might be okay with getting rid of all that, other than, you know, our collidable map object. Let's try this. Should have a type, which is, it's a treasure chest, so it should have a class type. It should have an open field, and then we're calling open chest if dialogue collides. So if we give the wrong... Actually, dialogue collides takes in a target, which is the treasure chest itself. Okay, let's try this. Okay. 387 doesn't know. Doesn't know that there is a dialogue ID here. Fuck. This is so jacked up. Yeah, we're not pulling a dialogue ID. Or dialogue box index 1. Why is this index 1, man? This is in our play state. We don't have a dialogue ID assignment, do we? We do it right here. See, I don't think we have to do this. This is just in our touches. What the heck? Where else are we doing this? Right here. Okay, we need it right here. Okay, so not our touches. Gosh, that really screwed us. We have to get rid of that. We have to figure out how to do it. So we should... We're already flushing the text on an open. And we're already doing this treasure chest option. We're already also doing this dialogue ID assignment. I'm pretty sure in the open. We'll check it. But it looks like all we're doing is opening the chest and becoming paused. We're actually becoming paused in the open chest, so none of that would actually be updating. So when we do this, you know, we detect a button press. We detect that there's a dialog box at the index that we're colliding with, which is a treasure chest, right? Then we're saying, this should be very easy, man. It should be as easy as putting the dialog box in the exact place we put, and we just have to also ask, you know, if the treasure chest at that location we just collided with, if it has an opened variable already. That's the only difference. But we don't need to do this. We need to... Why aren't we opening the chest here? We open the chest here. What the fuck? What? I think what's screwing us here is we have this dialog box ID that we're pulling for whatever we collide with, but now when we press A, we aren't pulling a dialog box ID for a treasure chest instantiation. But now that we put a dialog box where the treasure chest is, it should kind of show up, but it's not wanting to do this stuff. Let's try to turn this off. I mean, I don't think, because we do this junk, we do this when we open the chest. So I feel like, oops, that was totally wrong. Play state 387 doesn't like 387. See, it doesn't pull the dialog ID. Oh, this is so weird. We shouldn't. Yeah, this is so weird. I don't think we need to do this. Because we took out all this logic with our new dialog update. Okay. So we've got the treasure chest opening. It's not doing the dialog box, which is telling me it is not updating the object that's in there. So it's not that I don't want to do this treasure chest option crap. Yeah, so we might do this, you know, if our dialog box active dialog ID, see, where do we do that? Where do we get this active dialog ID? That's what we changed to be new. So we assign it where? We assign it here. What the fuck? We pull it from the scene. God damn, this is so crazy. Okay, so I think open chest just needs to pass to the scene this active dialog ID. We just need to make sure that the open chest is doing that. Open chest needs to pass through this active dialog ID into the scene view. We're gonna pull whatever ID is this dialog box ID. And we're gonna assign, oh, we do it right here. We're assigning the active dialog ID to be equal to the current scene we're at. Dot dialog box at index self dot dialog ID. That's the actual dialog box, not the dialog box ID. So maybe, and then look, current, we also assign it to our state machine, which is also incorrect. This should be just self dialog box ID. Okay, let's see. We're hoping to get the dialog box showing up here. Oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, does it stay closed? Is our treasure chest? Yeah, it doesn't stay closed. Well, we did that for testing purposes. So let's put the loot in there. And we need to clean up all this nasty old dialog box ID stuff, because this is just so bad. But this makes sense, right? Like we put in a treasure chest object Treasure chest object has contents like a coin. It has whether or not it's open or closed. It has collision detection so that we can register when we interact with it. And then we're also defining a dialog box to go with it. So we say, okay, there's a dialog box in the same scene, and we pass in the same index as the treasure chest explicitly so that we know that these two are linked, because the treasure chest will pull the dialog box from the index that we give it. So we give it 1, it'll give us this one, which will be you found an ancient loot, or it's your ancient loot. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so in order to insert a treasure chest, we're no longer doing the dialog box inside the treasure chest class, because it's just a little weird to do that. But we define the dialog box, we tell the treasure chest which one to pull from. Then when we open, it'll do it. It'll update the active dialog ID, which will then render whatever chest we do. So let's make sure it's pulling the new logic. It's your ancient loot. It is said to possess a peaceful power, something like that. Now, we do have a coin in there. So when we have this, we're setting an image. We have to set right here, contents type coin, then render the contents. So we're doing this contents is contents and contents. Wow, we don't even give it. Oh yeah, we do as the third parameter, and we give it a coin. So we would need to put, yeah, this is a little weird. Because all a coin is an image and rendering. I don't think that needs to be a class. We probably just need to assign the image based on the string of content that you put in there. So we can say if the contents, see, we don't want contents type. Where are we defining that even? So weird. Okay, so we're just gonna say, if we're in the show off item, if the contents is equal to that of a coin, then we want to render the self image. So actually we want to render it no matter what contents it is. We just want to assign the image to be the contents of whatever gets passed in. So we need self.image is going to get depending on our contents. So we're going to pull our contents as a string, and we're going to ask if our contents are equal to a coin. If coin is passed in as a string, then we're going to render that coin in our show off, and we're going to do that here. We're going to say if we're show off item, we're just going to render, where do we do it? Right. We just render the contents, which if we look at our coin class is just a draw image at its own location, which is just a 0, 0. So this is a little weird. Because yeah, this 0, 0. Now when we give a coin, do we give it an X and a Y and everything? No, we just give it a coin. Okay. So this render is now a love.draw, and it doesn't matter what the contents are because we're just drawing the item that is in our image. And right now we draw this, yeah, we draw this at our treasure chests X and Y, which is incorrect. Yeah, I don't see it though. Fuck. If show off item. Oh, that's because when we do it, when we instantiate it, declarations, we're passing in coin object instead of coin string as the class type. We should see a coin here. Okay, yeah. It's not that. It's not that. Yeah, image. Oh, it should be .contents image or something like that. Because .image is literally the treasure chest itself, so it should be contents as, yeah. It should be, yeah, let's just do this. Contents is the string, but then content image. I don't know, I want to say treasure image. So if the contents are a coin, then the treasure image is going to be a coin. And then we're going to render not the self image if in a show off, but the treasure image. Okay, let's do that again. Treasure chest 25. Try to concatenate something. Contents X. Why are you mad at that? Why are we doing the same thing twice here? Okay, you know what? We don't need this. Yeah, we do. Let's just do this where we say there's a treasure X and a treasure Y, because we need to know where to render the coin. And we're going to render it according to our player, right? And the size of the sprite. So we're going to say not the contents X gets changes, but we're going to say that the contents become this treasure X and Y. Okay. Okay, we're looking for a coin above our head. Nice. It's a little wrong. Looks like we need to shift our treasure X by a little bit more than that. And this depends on the type, right? If it's a loot, we might need to raise it up higher. The doesn't seem to move. Treasure chest, treasure X, treasure Y, and we render the treasure image at the self X. Yeah, this is not right. It's not the self X. It is at the treasure X. Yo, it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stuff. You know, it's like this stuff used to be working perfectly, but then we changed it, which broke everything. So that's just kind of how it goes. So it's like, it's so hard to get an estimate on how I'm doing because it seems like I'm just running up against roadblock. But you know, we're gonna put the loot in the underneath the bed here, which will be cool. It's just that I guess it's just a little, you know, I was hoping we would be completely done with all of the scripting for the cinematics here, and we've only gotten just the tossing and turning in bed. That's all we've got today so far, and it's been over 2 hours, so just a little, you know. But did you see the mini map from yesterday, Salto? Did you see us get that working? God damn, it's so touchy. I think 4 is the way to do it. Okay, so we need to add the loot. So if the contents is a loot, here, I'll show you real quick. Let's do it right now. So if we, this is a bad scene to show that off in, but let's just swap over to the starting area and I'll show you the mini map real quick. So if we're walking around and if we're walking around and we hit the select button, it'll pull open a little mini map that shows the whole map kind of in pixel art, and then you can highlight which scene you're on and it'll tell you, you know, as a sort of like where you're at. And as you update, it'll tell you, oh, now you're on Gecko Road or whatever. Down here, you're at the inn. And then it's got a little Tashio picture there that renders where he is in the scene too. So in the bottom right, he's down there in the bottom right. Bottom left, he's over there in the bottom left. So it's just a cool way to navigate and for people to see things they want to explore. Because if they go over here and they're like, oh, I want to see what this skating rink is or whatever it is, they can be like, oh, I just got to go right one screen, up two, and then right one. And then either the path is clear for them or not, but it just gives them like a thing to, you know, try to go help exploring. So I'm glad we got that yesterday. That was fun. And we've been needing to fix the new treasure system, which is a lot cleaner now. So I am glad we redid it, because I hated that old way we did it. We need to pull the standalone loot, which I don't know if we have exported. Yes, we do. It's just called loot. Perfect. Okay, we should probably require these as dependencies so that we don't have to re-initialize a drawable for every treasure chest. So we'll do that, but let's just make sure that the loot is working. So when we go to our declarations, we're going to pass in a loot instead of a coin for the treasure chest, and we'll see if the X and Y is looking okay. Thanks, man. Yeah, I really like how the minimap's looking, and especially once we get some more... Oh, still a coin. Yeah, once we get like more... Oh, nice. The loot, the loot, the loot. Yes, it needs to be higher. So we need to, you know, have a different Y. God dang. If our treasure chest's contents are a coin. I like it because I know when, you know, when I raid people, oftentimes they kind of just like walk in a random direction, and then they get lost and they can't find where I'm telling them. So it's kind of cool that they can have this map now and they can at least see and navigate that way. So I think it's really cool. I don't want to do it like they do in Link's Awakening, where they do it's basically blacked out until you find the screen, and then it'll tell you. Like, we might hide the name of the location until you discover it, but we will show you the map all at once. So it's like, if you look and you really think the volcano's cool, you could try to walk over there and see what it's about. The game will probably stop you because you don't have the skills, but at least you know where it is, and it gives you a place to want to explore at a certain point, you know. So I think that's really cool. Look at that, our little loot. Okay, we need collision detection on our freaking bed. Now the good news is we have collision detection on the treasure chest, and we're going to put the treasure chest at the foot of our bed. So we only really need collision for right here. So actually this might be fairly easy. And it'll be kind of ghetto, or kind of, yeah, it'll be kind of ghetto. But it should work. Let's try to move up the map declarations here. And we'll put the loot treasure chest one scene higher, and we'll put the dialogue box. We actually shouldn't need a location for the dialogue box because we're triggering it manually through a treasure chest. So now it should be at the foot of our bed. Yo, we officially got the loot in the game, homie. This, fuck. Shit. We do need a little bit of a... We shouldn't be able to get under the covers that far, right? That's just a little weird. Yeah, it should kind of cut us off, like right there, which is like half a tile size. Okay, so yeah. So that, yeah, you know what? Okay. We do still need to take out all the old dialogue box render for the treasure chest. We do need to clean that up. I'll probably do that before I end stream, but we also have to do this collision. So I've never done a collision outside of the square tiled collision detections, but we define a collidable object, I believe. Let's take a look at our code base here. We have a collidable map object that we can initialize. So when we do this, we can manually overwrite the width and height for the collision. So we can add a collidable map object to be the foot of the bed, and then we can change that object to be the proper width and height so that we don't collide with it. So I've never used this outside of when we, so look, if we look at when we call this, instantiate this object, we can say collidable map objects, instantiate right here. We do this here upon a collidable map object. So the tough thing about this, you know, we probably need, because the table.insert just kind of, I think it might prepend all the values. I'm not exactly sure if it appends or prepends the values, but we need a way to kind of say the thing we just inserted into the collidable map objects table for our scene has a width and height of whatever. So we could add the width and height, the X and Y width and height, as a parameter here. So the collidable map objects, let's see, collidable map objects. Yeah, so let's do, you know, we have a row and column. Okay, because this is, yeah, this was built for adding collidable tiles from our data downloader. So it takes in a row and column. If we look at what the row and column is, when we insert it, it is right here. It is I and J, which is the global map width and height. So that doesn't help us much. That'll be the scene row, or yeah, let's see. If it's height, I is going to be the row and J is going to be the column. So that would be a scene view row, scene view column for a collidable map object. Then we can actually say also, we're going to say, this is going to say X, Y, width, height. And then we can say X is either going to be the width we give it, or if we don't give it a width, let's try this, width or this, or this would be X. So if we don't give it an X, which we don't for the tile data downloader, then it should be equal to the tile size column offset, which tells it where to place. So we're going to say the same thing, width or tile size, and height or tile size, and we'll test to make sure this doesn't break any collidable map tiles. I don't think it will. Okay, looks so far so good. So let's add a collidable map object. We need to do something very similar to this, right? So we need to say, I guess this would be in our map declarations. We would say like, we're going to insert into the maps, this current scene. Yeah, ideally, I would love for us to be able to get that collisions working on the tiled layers, but I cannot figure out how to convert a value from pixels and turn it into boxes for collision detection. So I know how to do perfect squares for the tiles, but I don't know how to analyze the contents of a tile and be like, okay, anything that is a red, we're going to insert a rectangle. So it's kind of sucky we have to do it like this, but we would insert into the collidable map objects a collidable map object with a 1018, and let's just try to also give it an XY width and height. We'll do it right above our bed. So the X would be 16, which would be a tile size. And let's just do tile size. That should give us the very top right corner. And it should be the size of a width and height of tile size as well. It's just a perfect square. And we're going to see if we add that into our collidable map objects, if we truly have collision. Attempt to call global collidable map objects. We don't have access to a collidable map objects in our declarations, so we have to go to our dependencies, go find our collidable map objects, and make sure we require this before our map declarations, which it was right after that. So now it's right before it. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, fuck. What didn't you like? Attempt to call update a nil value on a map. Really? Okay, table.insert into the collidable map objects, just like we're putting this treasure chest here. We're trying to put in a collidable map object instantiation, which we are doing right over here. Let's try to take out the parameters. Maybe that's just throwing it off. Shit. Attempt to call update method on map 386. We can't update a collidable map object if it doesn't have an update. Okay. But our tiles don't have a freaking update. Why can you do that? Really? We can't update. Then what are our freaking tiles? Does that mean we can just say oh shit. I'm just going to give us an empty update function there. Now it wants to render. What the fuck, dude? Why was this fine for tile objects, but not fine for generic collidables? Okay, well it works. Let's try to give it the X and Y now and see. Okay, so 1018 is the row and column. Then we give it an X and a Y. We're going to give it a tile size, and a width and a height, which is tile size, tile size. Nice. Okay, we do have a collidable map object up there, so we cannot walk behind our bed now. Oh, what the hell was that? It just made us meditate and sit our ass over there. What the hell was that? What was that? You know, ideally we would be able to walk just behind here because there is room to, but not up here. Okay. Yeah, I want to add a little render so we can see the collidable map objects, right? And then we can just turn off the render. So collidable map objects, god damn it, where are we? Yeah, let's just say that we're gonna do set our color to red, and we're gonna draw a rectangle at the image at the location, fill type, and then self.x, self.y, width, and height. So we should see it now, which is good. So we want one like beneath the bed a bit. You know, we want just like this little little area where we can walk in between. So it'll be tile size times 2 shifted by like 4 pixels or so. So let's try to do another one. And we'll say there's another one in that same scene. The X is the same. The Y is a tile size times 2 minus 4 or so. And we'll see if there's one for the bottom of the bed now too. Oh shit. Tile size times 3 minus 4. Nice. Okay, so yeah, so now we can't walk through that bottom bed. We can still fit nice and snug. maybe a little down more. Maybe just minus 2. Okay, we can fit in our little bed here now. Wow, I want to be able to... Yeah, I think we only want 1 pixel overlay. Let's try this. Wow, no. I think we need to scoot up this top one and scoot up this one. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, nice. So now when I hold down, when you're in the bed, it doesn't cut off your eyeballs there. And there's a little bit of wiggle room on the bed there. I want to be able to add walking to the top of this, so we might shift our... crap. Yeah. I'm just worried... I'm worried it'll throw off the collision. But if we need it, we might have to do some math here. Okay, if the height is 16 and the Y is a 14, then our current bottom of our thing, it'll be, yeah, it starts at 14 plus a 16 of a tile size. So that needs to be our new bottom. So we need a 30 as the bottom. Now I think I want like a 5 pixel high. Might need to be 4 pixels. Let's do a 4 pixel high with an ending at 40. So we need a 26 on a Y starting point. A height of only 4. Let's try that. So it needs a height of only 4 and a Y of 26 and then a width of tile size and a height of 4. Let's see, we're looking to be able to walk above the bed, but not through it. Yeah, so like we're stuck here. Yeah, we're in bed. We can't walk through the headboard, but we can walk above it. That's perfect. Okay, so if we turn this off, you know, we should still be able to open up loot. We can turn off the render for the collectible map objects. What the Gotta turn off the render and not set the color. Okay, so now we've got a little bed. We can't walk too under it. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, he gets tucked into bed perfectly now when he walks in there. Yeah. We could even prevent him from being 1 pixel off like that if we really wanted to. I'm not too worried about it. Actually, yeah, maybe we should, just so that it's perfectly get tucked into bed. Because we need and we got our loot. Okay, epic, sweet. Yeah, let's add one more razor thin collidable map object to the left side here. There's got to be a better way to do this, you know, like I'm saying, like I wanted to do this, and Sasquatch told me about this, is like to draw like a collidable layer in tiled, right? So like just draw all the layers you can't walk in, so then we can edit it in tiled and just draw where we can't walk. But I just could not figure out how to turn the value from a PNG into whether or not there's a collision box there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I could not figure that out. So we have to kind of manually insert these little collidables, which is kind of a pain. But also, like, there's not too many of these that aren't just a map object or a wall object. So if we have to do it for anything, like we have to do it for beds because they're wonky, like, kind of so be it. I don't know how to automate it better than this, you know? I mean, we could make a bed object that just kind of takes in an X and a Y and kind of spits out all these collidable map objects to insert into the current scene. So if we really want to, we can kind of standardize a bed like that so that we don't have to keep defining this, but I don't know. Let's do this where an X of actually 0, and then a tile size of this where the bed is, which is starting at the 26th line. XY width is going to be a tile size +1, and then a height of 16. It should give us that 1 pixel buffer on the left side. We did that so wrong. So wrong. X, Y, tile size, width. Oh, we have too many arguments there. There we go. Yes, but the Y should be where this 28 is. So X, Y, yeah, it should be, this should be. There we go. Now we have that 1 pixel buffer. So now if we walk all the way to the left and press down, we're like perfectly tucked into bed there. And we can still walk above. But yeah, we kind of have to walk like directly into bed. We can make it 1 more pixel down on this bottom one. We could make this a -5 instead of -6. Give us 1 extra pixel of buffer, because it's like if you get stuck walking into bed, it's a little awkward. That's a little too low now, though. He doesn't get perfectly tucked in. He's got to be perfect. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It works. It works good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's turn off the render for that. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Okay, let's make sure it works in context of the cinematic. We toss and turn. He faces down. He opens his eyes. It comes on. We can walk. We can even come down here. Oh, we can't do this just yet. We are not updating our collidable map objects in the cinematic state, only in the play state. That's why when we walk off and come back, we will be able to interact with this. And we can get the loot. This is cool, man. We finally got access to our loot from the beginning of the game here, which is cool. You know, I mean, either Mage gives it to us. I mean, I think Mage will give us Flamma. So I think we stick with the game plan of we get the loot in our room here. Then we go out into the library and we could read about what the loot does, which, oh my god, why are the dialogue boxes not working now? What the fuck, man? Our dialogue boxes are busted. Shit. No. Fuck. So jacked up. Okay, I mean, does that mean everywhere? Probably. What did we change? What did we change? It should be 1019. Fuck. We're gonna have to dig through our git diff and see what we changed for collidable map objects, or dialog box objects. Has nothing to do with the treasure chest, I don't think. But we didn't change anything to our dialog box object. We're just changing like what dialog box ID that the treasure chest gets, right? Unless we're still in play state or cinematic state, which I don't think we are. Yeah, let's load. God. See, it would be something around here. Oh. We took out. Oh, we're doing. Okay, yeah, this is the line right here. In the play state update, we need to update our dialog box and flush our text. We have added the commented out. So this looks like line 327 in our play state. Yeah, we should have this on, as well as the dialog ID, right? Yeah, we should have the ID and probably the paused too. I think. Oh, why? Why does it do that? Okay, let's see. Please be back. Please be back. Fuck. We become paused. Son of a bitch. We can't commit with this is all broken, you know? Let's see. It should be... Yeah, not in the treasure chest. Should be in the play state. I thought we found it. We turned this off. We turned off a dialog ID assignment here in the play state on 196. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. 196, we turned off a dialog ID assignment, which we should not have, and then the paused too. And And also, we moved that. That shouldn't work. Oh, active dialogue ID. No, that's okay. We took out the active dialogue ID, assign it here. We added it back in and put comments on. So it's this active dialogue ID, I think. Yeah, we need to turn back on our active dialogue ID assignment for a collision for dialog box objects. But also, yeah, we can move both of these down. We can take out the paused here. But then we also need to turn back on the 196 playstate update dialog ID, I think. Yeah, let's pull the dialog ID still. And then, shoot, what line was it that we did the active dialog ID? Right here. So we're gonna also become this and turn off paused. And we pray to Lord Baby Jesus if we can hit a dialog box update on here. Thank Baby Jesus. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Sweet. Okay. We did not get the scripted cinematic done today with Mage, but we did get the first part, which it loads a little cinematic of us tossing and turning in bed and waking up, and then the initial controls here. So, you know, we can come up here. You know, we don't say that the A button is your action button here on this page, but these are just the buttons you do to play the game. And then over here on the controls page, if you talk to the controls, it'll tell you, I guess it doesn't say A is interact. Oh yeah, it does. A button will interact with objects. Cool. Or use the item in your slot, which right now we have Flamma, which shouldn't be on. Part of that polish we still got, but then our loot resets. That's a thing for testing, right? We put that back on. Normally it remembers what treasure chests are open and everything, so that shouldn't be a permanent issue. So we'll just have to do the scripting for Mage tomorrow, and then, man, dude, yeah, I was hoping we'd be done with the opening cinematic by now, but it's okay. I think Squinch had the great idea to put it here in the castle. It makes a lot more sense for the library to be in Mage's castle, especially with all the elements and stuff. So I think the game plan is we get the loot in our bedroom, we get Flamma from Mage when he comes and talks to us, and then we get the green tunic in the first dungeon that allows us to push crates and exit the first dungeon, essentially. So probably off stream I'll clean up all the nasty comments that are still in our old dialogue detection box, as well as these treasure chest options that we're not using anymore. So I'll probably do that later tonight off stream, just because it's really boring work. It's mostly just deleting, so we will commit saying finish first scripted tutorial scene with fading text and everything, right? And then we also added, I don't know what else we added. We should have checked our git diff, but we committed and pushed. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll try to finish the cinematic scripting tomorrow for the opening, and then we'll dive into the overworld design for the demo, and then hop into dungeon design. So we'll roll credits here, find someone to raid before ads hit, and we'll call it a night. Thanks for hanging, everyone. Hope everyone has a good night. We'll raid out to Brightside. He's got a game for Steam Fest that he's working on, so we'll raid him and call it a night. Thanks, Squinch. Good suggestions today. I'll look into I'll look into what you sent for tomorrow for the scripting for the coroutines. So I'll look into that and see if we can figure it out for tomorrow. But have a good night. Otherwise, thanks y'all.